Most of my guard passes, I make sure my knee's up in the middle, because once my knee's in the middle, it nullifies all his submission or sweep attempts. If his legs are closed, he's got arm bars and triangles and all sorts of sweeps. But once I can break his legs open and get my knee up in the middle, it kind of takes all that away. For example, Matt Hughes and Sharuto fight quite a while back. The first round of that fight, Sharuto had him in arm bars and triangles all around. The second round, he came out and he got his knee up in the middle, and there wasn't one more submission attempt for the rest of the fight. It stops everything. If I can just keep this knee up in the middle, I can strike from here, I can pass from here. I have many things I can do once my knee comes up. I always want to make sure I have an underhook on the opposite side I'm passing to. If I start to pass to the guy's right side and he gets an underhook on me, I need to stop and reset up my guard pass so that I can get my underhook. If I pass his guard when he has the underhook, he always has the option to keep his arm high and start to sweep me or to take my back. So I need to stop that from happening. And even if it feels like I'm able to pass his guard, he might be letting me pass his guard because he has the underhook, and he'll end up, again, escaping out the back. So I need to stop what I'm doing, get control, and make sure I have the underhook nice and tight. Same thing once I'm inside control. If I get all the way across the guy's side and he has the underhook, okay, he's gonna escape from here. I need to make sure that I pummel inside and make sure I keep the underhook on the opposite side that my body's on. So again, if I'm here passing his guard and he gets the underhook and starts to come inside, I need to sit back, okay, re-pummel my hand through, even if it takes all day. If he starts to sweep in again and I gotta keep pummeling with him until I get a deep underhook, don't pass until I get the underhook, okay, because now I have control. I can make sure that I'll be able to pass and prevent him from sweeping me or prevent him from coming out the back. Okay, again, so if I'm trying to pummel and get the underhook, the same thing goes for the guy on bottom. If this guy's on bottom and I start to pass his guard, if I need the underhook to pass, that also means that he needs the underhook to stop me from passing or to take the back. So if you're the guy on bottom, you need to keep trying to pummel your arm in to get inside to get out, okay? So we can sit here all day and fight for this, but technically, it's the most important thing in no-gi, jiu-jitsu, or submission wrestling is getting the underhook to control your opponent. And it's always on the opposite side. If I'm passing to his right side, I need to make sure my right side has the underhook. And if you're the guy on bottom and he's passing, you can wait until he picks his side, whatever side he's passing to, and all of a sudden you need to pummel your hand in and get your hand pummeled in the opposite side that he's passing to. So one more time, as my knee comes up in the middle, I start to drive through. If he pummels in, right away I need to keep pummeling with him until I get a deep underhook. Once I have that underhook secure, I can finish my pass. Make sure also when you pummel inside, get a good deep grip on his shoulder. As I get my hand inside, I want to grab a hold of his shoulder and kind of pull him to me so that he has no more space to get his hand back inside. So if he was to try and pummel back inside now, I have a grip on his shoulder just like this, a monkey grip with my thumb, so that he can't get his hand back inside. From here, I'm going to show how I like to stand up in guard to get the guard pass, but I also want to control him so that he can't sweep me or set up heel hooks or any sort of foot locks. So both hands controlling his biceps, okay? I want to get to my feet at the same time. Don't step up one at a time. I'm just going to lean my weight forward, hop to my feet just like this. Now from here, notice my knees are tucked in behind his hips. Okay, so if he was to open his legs to try and sweep me, his hips don't fall. I have control of him, and I'm sitting back nice and tight here. Okay, again, his legs are closed. As I hop up, I want to hop up, knees behind him, and my elbows tight against his thighs, my knees tucked in, feet about shoulders width apart. Okay, from here I have good posture. If he wasn't here right now, go ahead and let go. If he wasn't here right now, I'd probably fall backwards. His body weight is holding me from falling backwards, but me sitting backwards is stopping me from falling forward. At the same time, he would have a hard time breaking me down. So again, if I'm here, just like this, if he tries to pull me forward, okay, I have balance here. But if I I can't fall backwards because his body's here. If he tries to open his legs, instantly, my knee's gonna pop in the middle anyways, okay? So again, once I get up here, I have control. He can't sweep back. If he grabs my ankles and opens his legs to sweep, okay, I have control of his hips. He needs his hips all the way down there to be able to sweep me backwards, okay? And I take that away from him by keeping his hips up here, okay? Keep my elbows in tight, keep my knees tucked in right behind his lower back. Okay, from this angle, you can see my knees are tucked in behind his butt and lower back, and my feet are about shoulders width apart. My elbows stay in here nice and tight against his thighs, so that if he does open his legs, his hips don't drop. I have control of when his hips drop. Then I can come here and drop and bring my knee through the middle. Okay, from here, I sort of have a special way I like to get the guy's legs open where I keep balance and base. Once I stand up and I get to my position where I'm controlling his hips, I'm gonna take my outside leg, or either leg actually, and push his hip over to the side just like this, okay? As I push his hip over, my other knee is gonna take a step back and put my heel or my knee in his tailbone, take a step back until my knee pops through the middle. So, again, I get to my feet, controlling his hips. My pick either side of my leg, I'm gonna open my leg, push his hip over to the side. Okay, from here, I take a step back and tuck my knee right in his tailbone. Now my leg that initially pushed his hip over is gonna step back so I can bounce and get my knee to pop up right through the middle. Even if I have a tall guy and his legs are still crossed, as long as my knee's in the middle, it's okay because I can still pass. Okay, I just have to make sure my knee pops up in the middle. And I also don't want it, when I sit down, I don't want it at this angle. I want to sit down with it pointing my knee straight toward the ceiling. Okay, so one more time. Come up, control his hips, push his hip over, take a step back, and then tuck my knee right in the tailbone. Now my initial leg that pushes hip over is going to step back, drop to where my knee's pointing toward the ceiling. Good posture, head up, chest up. So again, once I stand up, I have control of his hips. I'm going to take my knee, push his hip over to the side, okay? Now my opposite knee is going to step back just far enough where I can bring my knee right on the tailbone. Okay, then the knee that first pushed his hip over is going to step back, head up, chest up, drop down until my knees point towards the ceiling. Okay, now even if he has long legs and he has his guard closed still, it's okay. I can drive my knee through and still pass his guard as long as my knee's up in the middle. Okay, from here I'm going to show a different way of opening the legs from closed guard. From here I'm going to keep my hands on the arms, okay? He carries either a low guard, or I can bring my elbows back and kind of wiggle his legs to the lower part of my lower back, okay? I'm going to rock up with my weight up on his chest, kick my legs over just like that, and cross them on the back of his feet. From here I hop to my feet, which opens his legs up, okay? I keep my legs crossed here just like this on his legs, and then I hop to my feet like that and step back out, bringing my knee up in the middle. So one more time, open his legs. Keep my hands on the biceps. I'm going to bring my elbow back since his legs are kind of high and work his legs down a little bit toward my lower back. Okay, from here I'm going to rock my hips so that my chest comes up on top of his chest. Cross my feet on top of his feet. Hands on the biceps, pop to my feet, and bring my knee up in the middle. Okay, another way I like to open the legs from closed guard is once I get to my feet, okay, I want to come back here, have my hands either on the stomach, or if you can grab onto the waistband of the shorts in whatever you're competing in, that's all right too, but just in case, kind of grab the stomach, bring your elbows in. From here, I'm going to take 3 hops backwards. I keep my posture just like this, chest up, butt sticking out, good posture. Now as I hop back, his legs will pop open just like that, and my knee's going to drive through the middle, just like in the first pass. Okay, so again, I hop up, good posture. Okay, my hands are going to be right here, chest up nice and high. Okay, legs nice in a squatted position, butt sticking out, head up. Now from here, I'm going to keep the same position, straight arms. Okay, don't let your arms bend, because my arms staying locked out is what's going to keep his body pushing away from me. I'm going to bounce 3 times till his legs open, and I drop down, knee comes up in the middle. And my back leg, I'm kind of sitting down nice and low in base so that he can't start to sweep or anything, and then I can work on which pass I want to do. Okay, one more time. I'm going to get to my feet. Good posture here. Okay, I'm gonna get my hands right on his lower part of his stomach by his waist, bring my elbows inside so my arms are nice and straight. From here, good posture, my head's up, chest up, my hips and butt sticking out. Okay, from here, keep my arms straight. I'm gonna do 3 hops backwards, not changing my posture, till his legs pop open. Once I do that, I take a step back with one leg, and whatever knee I'm gonna pass the guard with, that one's gonna pop up in the middle, and then I can work on which side I wanna pass to. From here, I'm gonna show a double underhook pass, okay, for sport, jiu-jitsu, or like submission wrestling tournaments. Both hands on the biceps. I wanna hop to my feet, okay, bring my elbows in. I'm gonna do the hop to get the legs open. Now, once this happens, both my arms are gonna swim in at the same time to come underneath, okay? From here, I'm gonna clasp my hands together, scoop him up off his hips. Okay, so now he can't do much with his hips. I'm gonna take my hand to the side I'm gonna pass to, opposite arm, and reach over, hold on to the knee, reach for his shoulder, okay? Stand from here, keep his knees on towards his chest, walk. Now, by holding on to his knee, tightens his legs up, he can't go anywhere from here. Underhook the head, slowly let his legs go down until I can underhook the arm. The whole time, my knees are off the ground, all my weight's on his legs, and then it switches to his chest. And then I get an underhook at the end for control. Okay, again, I get to my feet, elbows in, good control. I'm gonna hop to get the legs open. Now from here, both arms gonna come in and sweep to get inside. They wanna swim to get inside and grab my hands together. From here, right away, scoop him up off his hips. Okay, so now he can't do much as far as adjusting his hips go. I'm gonna take one hand, grab onto the back of the leg. The other hand is gonna scissor across and grab onto the shoulder real good as I come to my feet. Okay, all my weight now is driving forward towards his head and his chest. Walk around on my toes, not on my knees, okay? Lift my head, transfer my weight from my leg, or his legs, to his chest. Underhook the head, bring my knee up toward the hip to control. Now once I let his legs go, make sure I pummel in and get an underhook on the opposite side of my body. Okay, now I'm gonna show a double underhook pass for MMA, where I don't wanna have my head quite as close. I wanna kind of trap his arms so he can't strike me as well. So from here, I get to my feet, hands come in, pop the legs open. Now from here, I'm gonna stay standing. I'm gonna reach under here, but instead of clasping my hands, I'm just gonna grab the back of his legs, scoop him up. Now I can stand up. From here, he's not gonna have a lot of power on anything. So I'm gonna stand, re-grab the back of the knee, and grab onto his shoulder. As I circle this time, before I let go of his legs, I want to make sure this arm's within reach. I'm going to slide this hand out, grab onto his arm here. Okay, especially if he has gloves on, he'll never get this hand back. Now, hop up to the knee. So from here I can strike. I have wrist control over here so he can't get his hand back. I can strike with punches or elbows. If he tries to block his face on this side, I can set up an arm bar from here as well. Okay, again, controlling his arms. Want to get to my feet. Elbows in to open the legs. Okay, once I open the legs on this one, I'm gonna stay standing, swim both arms underneath, but this time I'm just gonna grab onto the thighs, scoop him up off his hips, and now drive his legs forward. As I reach across, I grab on to the back of his knee, grab onto the shoulder on the opposite side. Sprawl the legs so all my weight's on him. Now as I circle, my head comes by. Now I'm gonna let go of the leg, slide this down to control the wrist, okay? And I pass his guard. Now from here, I'm gonna hop, knee on the stomach, okay, and control his wrist. Now from here, I can strike with one hand, I can elbow, and if he starts to defend his head from elbows, scoop his arm, step over the head. My knee's already up. I can hug this and sit back with his arm. Don't let go of this arm until the last minute when I'm sure I have the arm. Okay, from here I'm going to show a knee on the chest pass, another way to open the legs, but to make a guard pass out of it at the same time. Hands on the biceps, chest down. I want to hop to my feet at the same time. Right here, in good posture, okay? I'm going to take a step into his armpit just like this, okay? I want my knee on the opposite side to open up so that it sticks out past his thigh. From here, with my hands on his chest, I'm going to try and drop my knee right into the center of his chest. Watch his legs when I do that. They pop open, okay? Now, my body is leaning against his thigh, pinching it between my thigh and my body, okay? I'm going to reach underneath the back of the leg. My arm that's closest to his head is going to fly away, hip forward, so my hips are tight against his thigh, and slide down his leg, okay? Once I get to here, I can either control his legs so he can't turn back into me, okay? Or I can grab onto the wrist for control, make sure my knee slides up to his hip to prevent him from putting me back in guard. And when I'm ready, I can let go of the arm and get an underhook for control. In positions like this, you kind of have to anticipate what the guy's going to do. Right now, if I step there, I know he's thinking that he may be able to go for a leg lock. So I'm not thinking of my pass. I'm thinking as soon as his legs open, then I go to my pass. Okay? I'm waiting for him to try that, and he's doing my job for me. Okay, from here I'm going to show a knee through the middle pass. I can open the legs one of any of the ways I was doing it before. I can bounce, I can step through and drop my knee down. Once I'm in this position, I'm kind of in the same position I'm always going to be as long as my knee's up when I'm passing someone's guard. So from here, I'm going to start to drive my knee to the floor like this, underhook the opposite side. When I put my knee to the floor here, make sure my foot stays in, trapping his leg. A lot of times guys get excited and they shoot this knee through and they just let it go. From here, I'll get stuck in half guard and he traps my leg. Okay, so then I need an entirely different pass. So when my knee comes through and drops on the floor, my foot stays here trapping his thigh. Okay, so my shin bone's right across the inner thigh. Underhook, keep a good grip on the underhook here. Now from here, a lot of times guys are going to try and elbow escape, put me back in guard. As he starts to push on this leg, scissor my other knee through just like that. Okay, I keep an underhook. When this knee came through, the same thing. My foot's trapping his thigh. Okay, I overhook this arm, scoop it up nice and tight, step out. From here, lower my knee, hip stays nice and low, scissor through just like this. Now from here, I'm going to scissor my knees back to regular side control and either go under the head or over the head and trap his head nice and tight up against my thigh. Okay, so from here, once I get the underhook and my knee comes through, okay, I want to make sure I overhook the guy's arm, not underhook. If I underhook, I'm kind of doing him a favor because he can body lock around my arms and hold me tight here. So from here, he could roll me one way or the other and I have no base. If I have this hand out and he tries to roll me over here towards my right, I can put this hand out for base, okay? And if he tries to turn into me this way, same thing, I keep my hand out for base. If it's trapped here, like this, and he goes to roll me this way, I have nothing to stick out. He can take me straight over. And same thing, if he tries to bridge and roll me this way, my hand gets stuck and I can't put anything out for base. So make sure when I'm passing, I overhook this and pull it up high, nice and tight into my armpit as my knee's through, and then finish from there. Okay, this time I'm going to start off with the same pass. I'm going to slide my knee through the middle and get my underhook. When the guy defends by pushing my knee through, instead of switching this time, I'm going to swap my knee over to the complete opposite side of his body and drive it through to the ground. Again, my foot staying trapped here. If I let this foot out and he crosses his legs in a half guard this time, I'm stuck, okay, in a backwards position where he could easily sweep me back over backwards. So make sure that my foot stays here nice and trapped, okay, holding his leg in. I'm going to switch my underhook to the other side. okay? Again, like before, overhook the arm, pulling it up in my armpit. Step out, hips down for base. Now as I slide my knee through here, I can either stay here to attack submissions or slide back to side control. Okay, so when I drop my knee on the floor and I get the underhook, as he starts to push on my knee to put me back in, I don't want to resist a ton. I'm going to kind of let him push me. As my leg goes back, it comes up and comes around. So as he's pushing, I can resist just a little to keep his hand on my leg, and then I lift it up and switch it across his body. Okay, then I get my underhook and the overhook on the opposite side, step through, sit my knee through, and come back to side control.